So I was right, and the drinker was wrong. Well, there we are. Now, it's a curious thing, and despite, I guess, my reputation with some of the drinker fanatic people and those idiots, I don't entirely hate Drinker or think he's always wrong. In fact, his review of, well, Black Captain, Brave New Black, whatever, it was not as bad as I expected. Of course, it's Drinker, so it wasn't that good, but it was like, okay. I really couldn't disagree with the main gist that, yeah, Brave New whatever was goodish in some places, but really baddish in many other places. So I'd say it's more bad than good, but that's me. However, let us get to the BO results, which are very telling, and they vindicate my predictions and refute Mr. Willy Boy. But still, it is kind of like good news, bad news. So apparently, globally, Brave New World will make about 200 million. And in terms of the contextually the other MCU films, it's done pretty well. There has not been apparently a single MCU film that did not land in number one spot, and Brave New World is no exception. So it's captured the number one spot. It did a little bit less well than Ant Man and Quantumania, if you can believe that, but still within the average, it actually did fairly well, and it did very well with the intended demographics, namely the very young audience. So teenagers, young adults, even people in their 30s liked it. That said, is there bad news for the MCU in the horizon? Yes. It received now the lowest cinema score. Lowest. All time low, yes. Of all the films, it received the lowest. It's not the worst film by far, but apparently it's getting weak recommendation. However, the box office is solid. It did get quite a lot of promotional, right? So they didn't hide this thing. They did promote it, and apparently it paid off. So if you follow the usual averages and the logic of the box office and statistics, it will make half the box office next week, so on and so forth. So unless it has a radical drop off like Spider-Man or Ant-Man 3, which may happen, so it might lose a little in theatrical, but probably it will make its money back and even make a small profit. This is not Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not like this massive blockbuster that everyone wants to see. Everyone's like, I need to see it. I need to see Captain America 4 before Fantastic Four 4. It's not that. However, it has done decently, and this is what I predicted, saying, yeah, it's probably going to do as well or even better than most MCU films. Probably to make like whatever 600 million at the end of the day, which for a 200 million film is what it has to make to be profitable. So it will probably be just a little bit of profit in theatrical and make up a lot of money later with DVD, streaming, whatever, selling to China and India. And there we are. So is this good or bad for the MCU and for cinema overall? Well, again, there was a huge funny thing that the critics, I include myself, that the Rotten Tomato score was all over the place. It was jumping from 54, 48, 47, 50, 51. Where it is now, I guess it's like 50.5 or something. So the critics themselves are very evenly split. The fandom overall seems to like it. So if you are a hardcore MCU fan, quote, Marvel fan, I usually differentiate the two. A Marvel fan is someone who really loves the comics. The MCU fans tend to only like the movies and don't care about the comics. But whatever. If you're in that sphere, apparently they did a good enough job. Question is why? Well, I think there are three major factors. Namely, and why is this doing better than Ant-Man 3? That's really the question for me. Like, I'm just curious, like, why is this doing better than Ant-Man 3? Well, I think there are three reasons. One is the genre, right? This is kind of a conspiracy thriller with sci-fi elements. Now, I don't think they were done very well, so I would say this is technically a bad film. However, if you do like Harrison Ford, you do like conspiracy thrillers. I mean, they give the main twist away, so that's not good. However, if that is your thing, within that genre, they do enough good action scenes. There's some really bad ones here, by the way. Oof, they're really terrible. But they did enough to get you into that atmosphere. So if you do like that mixture of sci-fi and the conspiracy thriller, I guess for fans of that genre, they did well enough. I think James Hancock put it best. It's above average in certain places, very below average in other places. Especially the dialogue was very poor. But anyway, so for fans of that particular genre, conspiracy slash sci-fi, you got what you wanted. And there we go. And two, and again, we'll debate whether this is a good idea or bad, but they gave away the Red Hulk. And does Red Hulk appear? Yes, the Red Hulk does appear. The Red Hulk is not too much in this film. Obviously, they were saving it towards the end. But if that is what you wanted, you got it. And I would say they did one good thing with the Hulk there. He is properly vicious. If we are seeing the Hulk unleashed, he destroys a lot of things, which is what the Hulk should do. And you got to think about it. We haven't really had like a good vicious Hulk since the last Hulk movie. So if you're a hardcore Hulk fan, you've been wanting Hulk to be like really vicious. Like again, I don't hate Avengers or Age of Ultron. I actually think Age of Ultron is a lot better. But really, the Hulk in the MCU has always been goofy. He just has not really been buck wild vicious. This one is. He's not playing around. He's not like going to be like just throwing stuff. He is unleashed. So I think they did a good job there. Again, for at least a little bit of time, we saw what the Hulk should be. The Hulk is just very powerful and dangerous. And third, and this might be related to the second one, but it is slightly different, which is Hulk Easter eggs. You're going to get a lot of Hulk Easter eggs. I mean, it sounds weird that they would choose this film, but hey, if you were waiting, and listen, I'm one of those people, if you were waiting for the leader all those decades, wondering, are they ever going to do something with the leader? Because clearly the Incredible Hulk, right, teased Tim Blake Nelson. Oh, is that the leader? Yeah. And then nothing happened for over 10 years. So nearly 20 years later, they're like, yeah, let's do it. Now, was it disappointing? Yes. Listen, I love Tim. Tim is a great actor. I don't begrudge him a big paycheck. I think they tried. Is the leader pathetic? Yeah, he's kind of pathetic, but they finally did it. And there's a few other Easter eggs. I don't want to give those away. So if you were or are a Hulk fanatic and like everything with the Hulk, the TV series, the movies, that probably gave you a little bit of a bonus. And there are a few more cameos. I don't think they were that good, but I think those Hulk Easter eggs really pushed it over the top. There are other Easter eggs. So I think those three things for the genre, right? And especially Harrison Ford's star power, because he actually gave a pretty good performance. So you got the conspiracy, you got the Harrison Ford factor, you've also got the Hulk, and you have these Easter eggs, many Hulk related and not Hulk related. And cumulatively, I think for those different parts of the fandom, that was good enough. It's good enough for them. It's good enough for what this film is trying to be, which is just a successor to the other Captain Americas. And I would say there is a lot of tonal consistency that the Captain America films tend to be slightly more serious. They have a more serious tone than the other MCU films. They're not totally serious, and this maintains that. So it's probably the weakest of the Captain America films. However, it does fit together with the other films. So there is some consistency there. The quality is dropped off, but they're maintaining some consistency. And nevertheless, I do agree with Drinker. This is very derivative. This is a very derivative film. So Drinker was right there that there's a lot of Winter Soldier. I mean, a lot of Winter Soldier. They are copycatting that plot a lot. However, you can take it another way. Not that they're being lazy, but they're doing a callback. They're doing an homage. So they're just sticking to what works with the Captain America series. So my final verdict is this could have been a lot better film. However, for a certain part of the audience, that part of the fandom, they did enough good things. And it will be debated for a long while. Did Kevin Feige save this film, destroy the film? Say if they have gone with the original version? Because definitely this looks very choppy, very incoherent. However, if you don't care about the behind the scenes, you don't care about the green screen, you're like, yes, I'm just going to see the movie. I'm going to enjoy the movie as an action movie. Then, yeah, this was a solid action movie in many ways. It was not good in other ways, but again, those Easter eggs with the Hulk, as well as the other parts of the MCU, might have been enough for you. But like, okay, I like the Eternals Easter egg, I like the Hulk Easter eggs, and I like the Hulk. And I would agree the Harrison Ford Hulk was pretty decent. It could have been shown better, right, with cinematography and things like that, nitpick it, but for those couple of minutes, they are very thrilling, very exciting, very powerful. I'm not going to go as far as Birdman, who gave it a B plus. I'm like, really, a B plus? But I think if you're just interested as a genre fan, you're probably going to give this a B or a B minus. And apparently that's where the fandom is. It's a sort of B minus movie, which is still very profitable. So Critical Drinker and the EFAP people have gone overboard. Oh, the MCU's dead, superhero fatigue. There's no such thing. However, is the MCU falling? Does the MCU have a quality control problem? Yes. But does it have a kind of global box office problem? No, no. It's still a very solid brand. It's damaged, right? It's not in danger, but it definitely could do a lot better. But in terms of what matters for Hollywood, which is the box office, it did well enough. But definitely the second weekend will be telling if it's going to be able to maintain that audience where they're like, okay, yeah, Red Hulk was decent, but we're going to move on. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see soon enough.